Hello and welcome to today's show. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk. Now, those of you that download the podcast, audio only, from unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk will notice from last week there is a new weekly podcast and is a recording of the live show that we do on Mondays, okay? So I'm fully aware, I have been made fully aware, boys and girls, by you, dear loyal listener and friend to United Kingdom Talk. I have been made aware that not everyone can listen live at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So as from last week, you will notice a new podcast. So there's now 4 a week. How can you cope, dear? How can you cope? There is a recording of the 2 hour. Yes, it's 2 hours now. God, I found, strangely enough, that an hour wasn't long enough to say everything that I had to say. So we have now extended the live show to 2 hours. Now, if you want to listen live, you can do so on Monday afternoons at 12 o'clock UK time. All right? 12 o'clock UK time. That's in the afternoon. 12 in the afternoon UK time. To find that on Monday afternoons, go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. In the top left-hand corner, click Listen Live. All right? Once again, go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, 12 o'clock Monday afternoon UK time, top left-hand corner, click Listen Live, and you will be whisked away to the live stream, and it's wonderful. You can join in by Skype and email and everything else. Now, which I'm fully aware means that some of you are having me for breakfast. Oh, I am sitting there in your breakfast bowl with milk being poured over me. There's nothing better than having that lovely white stuff coming down towards your face as you're laying there. It's one of the most wonderful experiences. It really is. I am being had for breakfast. But if you, well, you know, depending where you live. I know our friends in America, it is breakfast time there. In Australia, you are having me for supper. How lovely. I mean, maybe you could move your computer into your bedroom and lay there and slowly nod off while you're listening to me ramble on and on and on, as I like to do. Okay? You know where to find it. unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, top left-hand corner, listen live, Monday afternoons, between 12 in the afternoon and 2 in the afternoon UK time. Now, if you can't listen at that time and you still want to join in the fun later on, then the programme is now recorded and is uploaded to the usual place, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and you can listen to the 2 hour show complete with the phone calls and everything there. All right. Car trouble this week. Oh yes, bit of car trouble. Well, I say car trouble. I noticed that when I was braking, I think I mentioned this in the previous show, when I was braking, towards the end of the brake, the car wasn't quite smooth as it was stopping. It was kind of going shh, 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 and I could tell it was something to do with the wheels. Do you know what I mean? You can just, as a driver, you can tell this was like shh, 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 and it was going more like that rather than shh. Do you like the sound effects? I'll do it again. Instead of going shh, it was going shh, shh, shh. So I identified the fault as something being probably one with the brakes, because I remember in the past when I did the last service, they said there was a blip on my brake not brake pad, what is it, the brake disc. He said there was a blip. I wonder what he mean, but I thought he meant a doot. I didn't hear it go doot every time I braked. Very strange, dear. So went in for its 110,000 mile service. Yes, I've done 110,000 miles in that car. I could have visited you millions of times, dear, in that. 110,000 mile service it's gone in for. And I like to wait for it to be done, so they come straight out. Yeah, afraid your brake pads are shot. You need to do those in the discs. OK, carry on, dear. Carry on. So I sat there at 12 o'clock. Well, at 3 o'clock, dear, I'm still waiting for this car. And, of course, I'd had nothing to eat. Oh, there goes the phone. Who's been ringing me on that now? I should ignore that. Do not worry. I'm ignoring it and continuing to talk to you. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yes, that's right. I said to him, can I go and get something to eat? I said, what's available round here? He said, well, there's the garage up the road. Now, the garage up the road, I happen to know, is a BP garage. And there, they charge a lot of money for their sandwiches, and I refuse to go in and buy one. Absolutely refuse. Out of all the garages there is, the most expensive one for sandwiches, that sort of thing, are the BP garages, and as luck would have it, that's the one up the road from Toyota in Bracknell. So I thought, well, I'm not going to go there. And he said, well, there's always the ice skating rink across the road. He said, but you might not like it in there. I thought, oh, no, I'll go to the little ice skating rink across the road. Do you know what? I didn't even know we had an ice skating rink in Bracknell. How mad is that? I didn't even know. I've been here since 1992. Never knew there was an ice skating rink here. So, I then... Oh, the phones... Can you hear all the phones are going, my dear? Well, they'll have to wait, won't they? I'm talking to you, dear. Gone are the days. Do you remember when you was a young child and the phone used to ring and everyone used to run for the phone, didn't they? Do you remember that? Did you do that? We all used to run for the phone. Now, I just sit here and take it in my stride, and I'm afraid they will have to wait, boys and girls. They will have to wait because you are definitely much, much more important. You absolutely are more important. Anyway, let me get back to this story. So, I went over to the ice skating rink to get something to eat. I had no idea what sort of thing was over there. And I have to say, it was worse than going into a fast food place like Kentucky or McDonald's. It was dreadful in there. I ordered a bacon roll and a vegetable soup with roll. I was feeling quite peckish. Well, I'd been sitting there waiting for my car for 3 hours, dear. Not that I'm complaining. They have a television in the waiting room. It's all very clean. They have tea facilities. They have some woman that probably gets paid to just come round and talk to people. And all very nice in there. It's okay sitting. There's no problem sitting there for 3 hours, to be honest. So I've gone in this place, and it was just... it looked like a bomb had hit it. It did. There were... for a start, there was no china, OK? It was all on plastic... Oh, no, not plastic. Worse than that, it was all on paper plates. You know, and she... Anyway, I got to the end there, and I said, well, could I have a vegetable soup, please, and a roll, and a bacon roll as well? I quite fancied a bacon roll. And she said, yes, love. The whole place, which I'd completely forgotten, the school children were on holiday, which isn't a problem, you know, there were children everywhere. That's fine, I don't mind that, it doesn't bother me. I know some people, oh, blooming kids everywhere. No, it doesn't bother me at all. I like it. We've all got to live, you know. But the point is, I'm looking around for somewhere to sit, and all you could see on the tables were used paper plates and bits of food and cans of empty cans everywhere. God's sake. No one had bothered to clean this up. Anyway, so I paid my money, and then she didn't say anything. I said, oh, well, what do I do now? I'll just stand here. I thought I'd just stand. So I moved out of the way, and I stood there and observed what was going on. Immediately, this one on the till, she did my tea and gave me the cup of tea. Thank you very much. I took it in of course, a paper cup. Paper cup, dear. Oh, I hate it. Paper cup. And then she started serving someone else, and I thought, oh, she hasn't done the rest of my things yet. And then I observed, because I'm very observant. I'm always watching everyone. Watch. Okay? I then observed another lady cooking what appeared to look like bacon on this hot metal thing stove, you know. So I thought, OK, well, she's doing the bacon roll, then I'll wait here. A couple of minutes, and I could see her flipping over this bacon. A couple of minutes later, the woman who was doing the bacon brought me over a cup And I said, oh, you know, another paper cup. He said, oh, it's all right, I've already got my tea. And she said, no, love, that's your soup. Oh, God, in the same sort of cup. I mean, I expected a bowl. Fancy paying for soup, and it comes in a paper cup, dear. Dear me. And the roll was like this half a French stick that had been torn. Hadn't even been cut, it had been torn like that. You know, torn in the middle and shoved on another paper plate. So I put these two items to the side. Nearly lost the roll because the paper plate's all floppy, of course. The counter looked like, you know, on the counter there was like bits of tomato sauce and stuff like that. Dreadful. Anyway, so I continued to wait. And then a couple of minutes later, the bacon roll came over, which was in a bap. And it looked like, you know, the cheapest bap you could possibly buy. These baps were probably about 2 pence each, you know, 4 cents. But it did, I have to say, it smelled quite nice. So then I struggled, boys, because there was no one to help me. I struggled over to a table with all these paper plates, and they were bending in the middle. Blooming useless they were. They were bending in the middle of these paper plates. Got over to a table. Careful, and I had to get on the corner of the table. I put this stuff on the corner of the table because everything else was, there was all this rubbish on it. So I got my arm and just moved it all over to one side. On the table itself, there were drips of tomato sauce and bits of someone's coffee or tea. Oh, it was dreadful in there. Anyway, I positioned myself so that I could observe the skating rink, which was, it was actually quite busy. And I always enjoy watching kids going round and round and enjoying themselves on this. It was mainly kids in there having a good time, some parents as well. Do you know what surprised me? There weren't many people falling over. I kind of expected a lot of people to be falling over all the time, but they weren't. And do you know, it's years ago since I went ice skating. I went at the ice skating rink, which is in Streatham, which is in the southwest part of London. Yeah, I mean, I'm going back here. Oh, blimey, let me think. Must be going back 30 years since I've been on an ice skating rink. And do you know, I did watch them having a good time, and everyone was having a good time, and it was fine. You know, this cafe bit, I mean, it did its job. You know, the idea is you go around a few times and you get something to eat and drink, and that's basically what it is. And I thought to myself, do you know, I must go ice skating again at some point. I'd enjoy that. I wonder actually if there's an ice skating place in Lincolnshire where my sister is. You know, because next time I go out and visit them, I could possibly have a little skate around there. So, does anyone do ice skating? Let us know. The email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So I finished what I had to eat, went back over to the car place. Okay, Mr. Reardon, all done now. You had and it was about £350. Quite dear this time, but half of that was due to all the brakes and all that business. So that's all done. I thought, okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. Got in the car, and within 2 minutes, a yellow light came on the dashboard. I thought, oh, God. Here we go. So I did no more. I went straight round the roundabout at the top of the road and came back down the hill and back in. He said, oh, are you back? I said, yeah, a yellow light had illuminated on my dashboard, dear. It was illuminated. There was a beacon on my dashboard, illuminated in yellow. Looked a bit like a jug of some sort, I know, or a watering can. I thought to myself, well, what a strange thing. A yellow watering can indicator type light has come on, and yet there are no plants in the car to water. Could it be something to do with the water section? So he came out and had a look. He says, oh, yes, that's the engine management system. What's that? I don't know. Engine management system, he said. I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? So I have no idea what that one. He said, well, have a look at it, have a sit down. So he sat down again, and I waited a while. And I waited about half hour. He said, well, I'm having trouble finding what that is. Tell you what, do you want to take a hire car with you and come back tomorrow if you want to, if you're in a rush? He said, I'm sure you've got stuff to do. I said, yeah, all right. He said, let's see what we've got left. He said, I've got an IQ and I've got two Yaris's. Which one do you want? I said, oh, I'll have the IQ, please. It's a little compact car. I had that before, so that was fine. So I took that and off I went. Spent the next 2 days driving around in the IQ, and I thought, 2 days, oh, this isn't sounding good. You know when you leave your car and then there are a few days and you don't hear a thing, I thought, oh my God, this sounds terrible, dear. Is it time to trade in, dear? Because you see, when I bought that car, it's coming up to 4 years old now, I decided I wanted to get about 6 years or 250,000 miles out of it. It is a diesel one, and diesel engines are quite capable of doing very high mileage, okay? I do high mileage, so that was the idea. All the cars I've had before, I've never held on to them for more than 2 or 3 years. So this is all new to me, and I loved my little Toyota. I love it. Love it. It's so cheap to run, dear. It really is. And you can actually get quite a lot in the back. So I rang them on the Thursday. He said, well, Chris, all the readings are suggesting that you've got there's something in the injector. I don't know what they're bloody talking about, dear. What is an injector? What is this thing? Is this where all the stuff comes out and fires all the diesel into your engine? I don't know, dear. Don't ask me. Do I look like a mechanic? Would you like that? Would you like me to put on an old white T-shirt and tight ripped jeans? Now stop getting excited now. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Thank you. Stop it. He says, unfortunately, injector is in a very, very difficult place to get to, and it's going to cost you £700 or £800 if we need to do that. Can I suggest, Toyota, I've never felt ripped off there, okay? I have never felt that I'm treated as a respected customer in there. They've got my custom for life at the moment, Toyota. I'll tell you that now. All that business about these accelerator pedals sticking and this, that, and the other. I mean, out of how many millions and millions of cars that they've sold, please tell me this, out of how many millions of cars have they sold, what percentage of those have had the accelerator pedal getting stuck? Come on. It's blown out of all proportion for these newspapers. I could be working for Toyota, really, couldn't I? No, seriously, I am always treated with respect in that place. I never feel that I've been overcharged. I think they're brilliant. And on the phone, this bloke says to me, he says, it's going to cost you £700 or £800 if we have to do it. However, can we suggest something? I said, go on. He said, try some premium fuel in it. He says, for the next few, I mean, don't buy cheap. Go to, you know, like, not a supermarket, although I personally don't think there's anything wrong with supermarket fuel. I think it's all the same. He said, put some premium fuel in, because you know you can get like diesel and then diesel super or diesel plus. So that's what he's saying. And he said, put some of that diesel cleaning, do you know STP? They make like a little bottle of this stuff and you put it in with your diesel and it's supposed to clear out things, injectors and things like that. He said, try that 2 or 3 times and see if that puts the light out. I said, it's not going to break down. He said, no, it won't break down. He said, but it will cost a lot if we have to take it apart to get to it to see what's wrong. So I said, okay. So this is after 3 days, right? So I went, I'll come and get my car then. So I went back and got my car. I said, all right, thanks very much. He said, yeah, just do what we say and see how that goes, all right? So that's it. So I went straight down to Halfords and I got a bottle of this stuff and poured it in with the diesel. And within 2 minutes, this yellow light went out. I thought, well, that was quick. So I rung the bloke at Toyota straight away. I said, you're not going to believe this. He said, go on. I said, well, 10 minutes down the road, I put that stuff in. 2 minutes later, the yellow light went out. He said, oh, my God. And then he shouted out to his mate, here, Mr. Reardon's got one of his lights out. Do you want to employ him? He said, we're looking for people at Toyota who can make lights go out. And it's been fine ever since. So that's my car story, really. And you see, had that been an unscrupulous garage, they could have said, no, you need this, it's going to cost you £800 and done the job. Toyota do not do that. They don't take the Michael out of you. I have never, ever felt ripped off there. You know, 100 marks once again for the Toyota garage in Bracknell for assisting me like that. There we are. Just brilliant, just brilliant. Okay, Let's do some emails then. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, join in the fun, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to Ian, who says, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Ian. Who says, on the subject of the show that we did at the monastery near Canberra in Australia, he said, that was an outstanding show that you did at the monastery. I learnt an awful lot about Catholicism along the way. The priest you talked to was very eloquent. The amount of information I learnt in that show was really quite astounding. Thank you for that, Ian. And that email is very, very much appreciated, especially, and I'll tell you why, that particular show that you watched. If you didn't see that show, you can always watch it again. Just go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk and just look down there, and it says there, from Australia, what was it? The last of 5 shows from Australia, and that's the one from the monastery. Okay, the whole show is from a monastery near Canberra in Australia, and there were lots of. If you watch the show, there were lots of like video inserts in it and pictures. That show actually took nearly 5 hours to edit. That was a real long job that was for me, and it was the most complicated piece of programming that I'd ever put together. And I'm fully aware there were a couple of camera shakes here and there, and sometimes it perhaps wasn't quite right. But I've learned an awful lot by doing that show. I think the main thing I've learned, that the idea is you point the camera at whatever, the main part of the show, which was myself talking to the priest, Father Albert, and you record that part of the show, okay? But then after that, you go around and try and record little bits of pictures, what you were just talking about, okay? And then when you edit it, you try and put those pictures over the part that you were talking about, that particular thing. Now, the hard bit is, or what I learned mainly from that, is if you're going to do that, you've got to write down what pictures go with what bit of talking, because it's very difficult to remember. So I've learned that one. I mean, it wouldn't hurt really. Perhaps I should go on a little course or something like that to learn about these things. Because what's happening at the moment is I'm kind of learning as I go along. It's all a learning curve, isn't it? But also very exciting. Yeah, I know it did take 5 hours. Oh, I can't believe there's someone at the door. Can you believe that? I don't. It might be the water people. Just a minute. I'm going to have to go downstairs. 1 second now. Let's see what it is today. Always a visitor, isn't it? Might be someone I have to send away quickly.
Oh.
Yes, mate.
Working above South East Water.
Hello, mate, yeah.
I want to locate your water services and cut in a new stopcock.
Oh, you're digging it all up, are you?
Yeah.
Right, hang on a minute. Let me get me...
No, that's all right. I found a couple of pipes up there.
Brilliant, yeah.
Would you be able to run your kitchen cold tap for me pretty hard?
Yes,
I'll
mate.
Listen on it, see if it's...
I'll leave it on. Yeah, OK, mate. Cheers. Thanks. Oh, we might have to cut the show short here because... well, this is fun, isn't it? That's the Thames Water. That's the South East Water people outside. How exciting this is. Here you go, mate. That's on there, mate. Shall I just leave it going? All right, mate. Tarmacked over it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Gee, might not be able to finish the show there. Oof. Dear me. Will we ever be able to finish the show? I've got to wait for this bloke now outside. You see, you know the show's good, isn't it? There's nothing... Oh, what's the time? We might be finished. I might come up and talk to you again in a second. Hang on a minute. I'll leave that running for a minute. I've just got to pop upstairs and finish something for a couple of minutes, all right? I'll come back out. Cheers, mate. Well. I'll tell you what, he was quite cute, he was as well. Did you hear his voice? Oh, wonderful. Oh, dear. What a show this is. Free. We might have to go back downstairs and turn the tap off in a minute. Yes, so How exciting was that? What a shame I haven't got a camera down. He was gorgeous, he was. Southeast Water he was working for. It was about 25, blonde hair. Looked like he had a bit of muscle under the... Oh, very nice indeed. I'm going to have to invite him in for a cup of tea, I think. Take them both out a cup of tea. Right, now, where were I? Yes, so I learnt an awful lot in that programme, doing it like that. So, there we are. I'm really glad you enjoyed that, Ian. Okay. And got to say hello to Pack Jim, who watches the show on the YouTube there. Hello, Pack Jim, who writes, I sing at St. Olaf's Lutheran Church in Garden Grove, California. Even so, I'm a Baptist. I don't think I'm... Do you know what? Religion, it doesn't matter to me what you are. You need to be able to accept everyone for whatever they are. Do you know what I mean? I don't care what people are. I accept and I respect whatever religion you are. The pastor there asked me to join the church last night, which is fine as long as I don't have to call myself a Lutheran and still call myself a Baptist. He's okay with that. I wish we had kangaroos on our church property like the place has. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, in the video we did of the monastery, we had pictures of... There were kangaroos. Not obviously, not inside the monastery, not inside the church, but in the grounds. Wonderful place. It's the Penrose Fathers, okay, Penrose Fathers Monastery. If you want to look it up on the internet, I think it's no, sorry, Pauline Fathers. I think it's paulinefathers.org. Try that one, paulinefathers.org. He calls himself a Baptist. He's okay with that. I wish we had kangaroos on our church property like this place has. That would be nice. All we have around this neighbourhood are raccoons and opossums. And they're not too friendly, especially the opossums. What are opossums? Packed him? I don't know what opossums are. Have you got a photo of one of them? I'd love to see one. Possum. Thank you. Hello to Susan, our cat lover, who says, on the subject of my recent holiday, lucky you were enjoying all that warm weather. Oh, it was lovely. We got 16 inches of snow here in Dallas last week. It broke a record. No, thank you. You can keep your snow, dear. You can keep your snow. We can go for years without seeing snow and usually never get more than 2 inches. Oh, is that all you get? 2 inches, Susan? Dear me, that is small. How awful. I don't think I could put up with 2 inches, dear. Very small. I mean, come on, what can you do with that? I took a week's vacation this week and I will try and download your shows. I do hope so. I only have dial-up internet out here where I can live and it can take up to 3 hours to download your 30-minute show. Yeah, I know, that's a bit of a bind, isn't it? I think I need to buy an iPod or MP3 player, then I could go to the library and download them in minutes. Have a wonderful day. That's from Susan. Oh, come on, Susan. I know you're a lady of money, dear. Spend some of it, dear. You can't take it with you, girl. Got to spend some of that money. Mind you, I'm the same, Susan. You know me, dear. I don't spend money unless absolutely necessary. Now, I've got a couple of long emails here. Actually, both from Lisa in California and one from Robert as well in Iceland, which we will probably save. Yes, we will actually. We will save that until the next show, I think. All right, my darlings. Now, just to let you know, the problem we had with the sound a couple of shows ago has all been sorted now. It was I have a little recording gadget, which I record the sound on for the show. The picture's recorded on the camera, but I don't use the camera sound, although it's there as a backup, which I did actually have to use the other day. I actually record it on a little gadget that I'm holding up to the camera now. It's a tiny little thing. It's about, let me see, about 4 inches long and 1.5 inches wide, and that had gone wrong. And I went on the website, the Nagra website, who run this thing, who make these gadgets, and it said try a software upgrade, which I've done, and everything has been sorted. How marvellous is that? It's all sorted. All right, well, that's nearly it for the show today. I have to tell you, James Dean who hosts matineeshow.co.uk, matineeshow.co.uk, made a visit the other day, and the audacity, I tell you what, he stayed one afternoon. And then when I got up, because I was up, I just want to point out I was upstairs and he was downstairs, all right? We don't do nothing like that with James Dean, okay? I got up and the entire house smelt of his feet. It was the most vile smell. He's got stinky feet, that James Dean. And then he had the audacity to ask to borrow a pair of socks. I said, don't borrow them, I don't want them back. Take them, dear, take them away with you. I don't want those socks. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks very much for watching and listening to the show today. I'll see you in the next one. From myself, Chris Reardon. Bye-bye.